Hello and welcome, everyone, one and all, people of all ages, to the first fanfiction stream of the new year. This is Fanfiction Attempt Theater 9002 now, and I'm still Sneaky Devil. We still have Max Force and Atin, and this is still gonna be a wild, bumpy ride.
Nothing's
You
changed,
all
except we're all more depressed.
sit down, buckle up,
Yeah, pretty much.
and get ready to go, because it's gonna be something. So, well, actually, before we even begin, I'm just going to live stream me changing the title card. So everyone gets to see the behind the scenes how this works.
No, Sneaky, you can't break the illusion!
The illusion of death is always upon us. Okay, so what we do is we want some. We want a bigger stick this year. We want this stick filled in. Then we're going to turn this stick this. Put it around here more. A little bit thicker like that. Turn it around here so I can actually move the stick. And just put it like right on. Right there. That sounds good, right? Right. Then step 2 is actually making another layer. Because the point here is, there's a. Ow.
You good?
No. So we make it white. Actually, brown border. Swap it out. And with an outline. Why do you do this? Alright. And make it about this big, yep. We put a big old number 2 on there. I'm thinking we should use, what font do you guys feel like using for the rest of the year?
What's the most offensive font we can think of?
This one.
Could always make it the wingding.
That's black. That's bigger. Wow, that's a very unfancy 2. I'm actually kind of disappointed by this.
Wait, no, C8, the banner's supposed to be... Yeah, the banner's supposed to be in 9002, isn't it?
I'm trying to make 9002.
I don't think he's changed it yet.
That's
No, he had... No, C8, for some reason, thinks it's supposed to be 9003, for whatever reason.
No, it was 9001. Now it's 9002.
I know it.
There you go. That's a
was.
fairly annoying 2, would you guys not say?
I'm telling C8 that. I'm agreeing with you.
I want to stab someone with that, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want to violently assault that, too.
Alright, excellent. And then we turn it sideways and we drag it on down here. I think we'll probably get away with making it a little bit smaller. There we go. And just tilt it a little bit to make everyone frustrated with their OCD.
Fuck you.
Good job. Oh, no, Sneaky, that's too blatant. That's way too blatant. No, you've got to have it, like, just a little, like, turn it a little more up to the right so it's a little less cocked, so that they think that there's a chance it wasn't on purpose.
Like, right there?
Yeah, see if we can get it off the 9000. Like, we're trying to make it just cockeyed enough that they think it might not have been on purpose, right?
No, it's perfect right there.
Alright, so when we get to next year, we need to get another hand, like, violently shoving the 3 over the 2.
Yes. That's actually going to be next year's. Why am
by
I
the
here?
time we get to, like, 6 years of this show, if we're still alive by then, there's just going to be a lot of arms.
6 years down the line. That's being really generous, my dude.
I said if we're all still alive.
C8 wonders how it'll look 3 years from now. 3 years from now, I'll have finally gotten off my ass and learned how to fucking 3D model stuff on computers.
So he can stop.
And it'll just look like a really bad it'll look like a really bad college freshie's first attempt at animation. Broken lines, artifacting all over the place.
There we go. Even got that little tilt in because he's holding it so far away. Excellent.
Exactly.
And then we just merge it on down. And there we go. There's our new title card. But I did forget a very, very important bit.
Yeah, what bit's that?
Never mind. We haven't used that title card in years.
Oh wait, was it that one?
Yeah, the ending title card, which we haven't used in literally forever.
Yeah.
I forgot we had an ending title card.
Yeah, we just kind of sign off these days and leave it. Anyway, I've held you all up enough. So, that is going to be on your title card. I'll fix the, what do you call it at some point? The top bar. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So, let's go with our very deep, thorough, esoteric method of picking a fanfiction. Let's see. I think this one will cause some pain. Alright, I got the window closed up, so I'm not going to disturb anyone with my screeching. And let us begin. So this is the War for Ruby. I'm going to drop the link to it in the fanfiction section on the Discord.
Oh god. Oh, I just looked at that summary. I don't know how to feel about this.
Get ready!
Depression. You
Get
should feel
ready!
depression.
The three older girls of Team Ruby have one thing in common. They're all in love with their young team leader, Ruby. However, they're not willing to share and will do anything to claim victory over the heart of the unsuspecting team leader. The war
What
for
the
Ruby
fuck is this
has
picture?
begun.
What is this MS Paint bullshit?
Oh. Wow, that's... What the fuck is wrong with Yang?
Hey,
Why
What?
does one of them? Okay, am I crazy? Or what is that? Or does the one on the left? Why does Weiss look like an Iran car?
she does.
Yeah.
Like that's the Iran car jacket.
Yeah. Also, why do they look like they're from, like, King of the Hill or some era of animation like that?
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
Beavis and Butthead. There we go.
Yang actually looks like Beavis.
What a momentous fic to start the year off on. I hope you all
He
appreciate...
totally looks like Beavis.
I hope you all appreciate the depths that I go to for you.
Hey, Sneaky.
Yeah,
The timer's cutting out part of your name, just to let you know.
I know. I removed it.
Okay, but like, here's the thing, right? If White was just randomly in a wrong car, that might make the story more interesting.
That's fair.
It's certainly fucking hilarious.
May, remember that time that Weiss was just randomly Gilgamesh?
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting time.
Yeah, and then the story was bad.
It was too bad that one went nowhere.
It was too bad the story was shit.
Sneaky.
Yeah?
Birdie has named a horse after you in Breath of the Wild. Oh dear.
I appreciate your dedication, Birdie. Now, if you could just get your ass on this goddamn stream.
I like that you're being heavily sarcastic, even though Birdie's probably not present at the moment.
I know. I'm hoping she can feel my sarcasm through the universe. The Whoopee of Team Whoopee was in their dorm. Weiss was studying. Blake was reading. And Yang was polishing her gauntlets.
Okay, in a fanfiction this bad, why do I feel like that's a I know it's not, but I feel like it's supposed to be a euphemism.
However, none of the three girls could concentrate on what they were doing. Their thoughts were occupied by their team leader, Ruby.
Look, here's the thing. I don't care if people are like, Blake wants or Weiss wants Ruby, or both of them want Ruby.
Yeah, but one of these three is still her sister by blood.
One of these three grew up with the other. One of these three doesn't belong.
Like, if you wanted to just, like, be like, oh, by the way, like, we'll throw Yang out, but we'll put in Pyrrha and Nora, fine. Fine.
Yeah, or if you're gonna have Yang here, have it be like she's trying to keep her sister safe or something. Like,
Hi, Birdie.
I don't know. Just go with the overprotective big sister
See, Max,
thing.
I told you. Birdie heard me.
The sarcasm's
Oh, Birdie did.
She felt the
him,
sarcasm
they,
in the force. Did you just use the force to flip me off?
I would expect yes.
Hi, Arm. You felt the sarcasm I was directing your way. Incest probably isn't the biggest crime in this story. I mean...
Yeah, but... it's still bad.
Weiss had always been a person who reached for the best.
Sneaky, please don't snote cocaine directly into the microphone.
Cocaine.
Snote
cocaine.
I have had a stroke. Oh God.
I would also like to mention your mic was perfectly clear in that exact moment. I am clipping that for future use.
Oh,
of course it was.
Snote cocaine.
Oh God.
It's in this world. It's sneet or be snote.
That's it. Where's the clip of you falling off a chair because you're too fucking drunk?
But I wasn't going anywhere, and I didn't lie, and I was still right there. Snote or be sneet.
Still to my favorite, to this day, my favorite part about it is how Max and I are just like, he's probably not dead.
You just continued on without me. The only time you ever have.
We just kept going. Hang on. I actually sent that timestamp to Isley. I think this is the one.
I'm pretty sure Sneaky pinned it.
I mean, we have a clip of it, so...
I think that clip expired, actually,
Clips
for some reason.
don't expire, as far as I know. Do clips expire?
I don't know.
Hold on.
Moving on. She wanted the best clothes, the best food, etc. I don't need to go on. This was also shown in her actions. She aimed only to be the best there ever was. Her grades were always the best. Her skill was always the best. And her skill with the sword was unmatched. And she aimed to act and look her best. Nothing less would do. So, I'm glad we're starting off this story with a complete mischaracterization of the barely characterization that Rooster Teeth has provided of Weiss. Like, I know Rooster Teeth hasn't provided too much characterization to Weiss, but congratulations, you fucked up what little there was. That was until she got to Beacon. Suddenly, she met this girl who was everything she wasn't. Loud, obnoxious, energetic, and not that bright.
Hold on a minute. Is Weiss gonna date Ruby to piss Daddy off? Is that what this is?
Loud. Weiss isn't loud? Yes, she is. Weiss isn't obnoxious? Yes, she is. Weiss isn't energetic. 50-50 on that one. I'll give that one to you, Alfred. She's less energetic than Ruby. And not all that bright. not all that bright, gets put into a school 2 years ahead of her. Not all that bright. Really?
I mean,
Really?
she made her own gun sight. Weiss didn't even make her own weapon.
No, she didn't.
Or even if she did,
I don't think
it's
we know
not like
that.
hers. Hers is really not that complicated. It's a
Oh.
sword, but I stuck a revolver cylinder on it for dust.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basic bitch shit.
Yeah. We
No.
don't actually know how smart or not smart Ruby actually is. She didn't actually get the 2 years because of her grades either. It was
No,
a
she
whim.
no, she didn't
was-
though. But however, she did, feasibly as far as we can tell, manage to catch up on her schooling and pass
Yeah.
it acceptably.
Oh yes, definitely. And part of that comes from Weiss stepping the fuck up and being like, "Okay, I'll help. I'll give you the chance you
like,
need."
it's still though, like that means Ruby's pretty fucking bright if she's able to take in like what 6 months that it was shown 2 years of schooling and pass it at an acceptable level. That's
It
still
should
pretty
show
bright.
that. It should show that, but they don't tell us enough about the classes.
I mean, they only mention it once, but you know.
Did they even mention it? Like I
Yeah,
think the
they
most
had-
was said was like,
They were like, Ruby's got to take the classes, and she was like, oh no, Weiss, I need to be a better team leader. Can you help me with classes? And Weiss is like, sure. And then they never mention it again.
if nothing else, smart or not, she's certainly persistent and motivated to do so.
Like, maybe she's not the best socially, but it really doesn't matter. Anyway, to make matters worse, this same girl was made her team's leader, a position that Weiss was certain belonged only to her. Not only that, but this girl... You already used that. But this girl was one of the best students around, and was even better than Weiss. Wait. Not all that bright. She's better than me. So what does that make you, Weiss? Retarded?
I don't think the author realized how badly they fucked up.
She's a moron! She's smarter than you!
It's like, she's a better student than me. Wait, hang on a second. You need to back up.
All of this enraged Weiss to no end, and she hated this girl who had taken what was rightfully hers. However, things soon changed. Weiss soon discovered she beat her meat to Ruby, and that their leader was not an immature girl, but a true prodigy with unlimited potential.
No, let's be clear. Ruby's pretty immature about quite a few things.
Oh, really immature about pretty much everything but killing Grim.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me. I didn't even bother downloading the episode. Whoops.
We can watch it after the stream.
No, like I just don't care. Like I don't even have it downloaded.
It doesn't.
That's
make
what
you
I'm saying.
retarded.
Like I completely forgot about it.
Sometimes
Guess
just
it's
watch
just
it
you and
later.
me, Sneaky.
Sure. Not only that, but her cheery personality managed to warm even Weiss's ice-cold heart, and she soon found herself drawn into a really shitty rendition of a trope. Soon, though, her thoughts and dreams were filled with this girl. Weiss could only come to one conclusion. She was clearly in love with Ruby Rose. Or maybe you're just obsessive about her. You know.
Nah.
Has Ruby considered a restraining order?
You know, I don't think she has. No, that would actually be an excellent conclusion to this fic, in where Ruby just like shows up with the police one day, and she's like, "Yeah, I just took a restraining order out on all of you. Get the fuck out of my room."
Yang's just like, why me? I've heard what you people talk about. Dad's not happy, by the way.
Blake had never been one to trust people. Her unhappy life as a faunist had caused that. Really? Her unhappy life as a faunist that she specifically put herself into? Mm-hmm. Yep. However, she was also a person who wanted to fight for what was right by being offended at everything. That's why she went to Beacon, even though she didn't like the idea of being part of a team. No, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. She went to Beacon because she wanted to make up for what she did as a terrorist. Also to run away from Adam.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, the author is portraying Blake as a social justice activist. Like, she's gonna fight for what's right by becoming a huntsman to kill Grimm. How's that fighting for what's right? Because faunus is racism! Ruby, the fastest jailbait in the Wild West. Basically. Her team was not what she had hoped for. Her partner, Yang, was a rowdy idiot who didn't think before acting. No, she thought before acting, she just continued to act anyway. One of her teammates was the heiress to the Schnee Dust Company, her former enemy. Not to mention... Author, you can't even stay consistent with your own fucking stuff. I want to fight for what's right and become a huntsman. Okay, your teammate is now going to be Weiss Schnee. Oh my god, I hate this team. I can't believe they would pair me with Schnee, even though I said I would try and make better myself. Not to mention, her leader was a young child who was way too...
Says the person who joined a terrorist organization at the age of like 10.
Her leader is a young child who, in one paragraph, she's gonna fall in love with. God fucking damn it, author. Is Blake a pedophile too? Is there some connection in Ruby between pedophiles and terrorists?
Somebody clip that.
Oh god, okay. Who was way too innocent and naive to fit the position of a leader. Blake was certain that she would never learn to fully trust these people. That, however, changed quickly when we're going to do some more Rooster Teeth patented show don't tell. Sorry, tell don't show. That changed quickly when her faunus identity was revealed, along with her past as a member of the White Fang. Blake did the only thing she could and ran away. She was certain her team would never accept her as one of them. Well, again, I'm going to comment on Rooster Teeth's characterization right there. I do understand emotional choices and emotional situations, and you make bad choices when you're being all whiny and bitchy and, you know, stupid. But I have been revealed as a terrorist. Instead of confronting my team about my terroristic past, I should run away from them to make sure they can never get a clear answer on my terroristic past. Just saying. Just saying. Instead of being like, yo, hey, look, guys, I know I was a terrorist back then, but I've changed. I decided enough was enough. I couldn't do it anymore. I want to help people now. And you're going to be like, no, oh man, I gotta run. That'll be sure to not confirm any theories they have about me. Blake needs to get white girl wasted.
Yes.
She's a young child, so I fell in love with her. Sounds suspicious.
Author, you're really not doing yourself any favors here.
Yeah, I know, right? In the end, her teammates found her and accepted her, even Weiss. For the first time in her life, Blake felt truly hopeful for her future. Again, correction right there. Blake actually felt very hopeful for her future as well back when she was doing the faunus rights activism. Which is why she ended up becoming a terrorist, because she thought that the only way to actually succeed in her dream was to become a terrorist. You don't go, oh man, I'm really optimistic about the future, and then go, not become a terrorist if that's what you really believe. Like, if you're pessimistic about, oh, we're never gonna get rights, I should just give up. I'm gonna become a terrorist now. That's not, no. Other way around, author. Other way around. Blah, 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 blah. Blake eventually learned that all of this was thanks to Ruby Rose, who had been searching for her since she left. While Blake's partner was willing to give up on the search and Weiss wanted nothing to do with Blake, their leader insisted on finding her and bringing her back. That she was part of them. That she was needed. That she was their friend. This warmed Blake's heart. Finally, she had found a person who accepted her unconditionally and actually wanted her around. Your boyfriend? Who you became a terrorist with?
But hey, we'll just overlook that one.
Sneaky, check if the author is an SJW. How the fuck do I do that? I don't know.
It's a good question.
Hi, I'm just a guy that writes Ruby fanfiction. I'll be writing a lot of Ruby gang stories. Don't expect them to actually be related in these stories, so it's not incest, so I can rationalize it better. Oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
It's not how that works.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
Dead by Roselight. 3 years ago, Ruby Rose, disappeared without a trace, leaving her family and friends broken. However, when a mysterious boy brings a message from her, Yang and her team go out to look for their missing leader. Unfortunately, what waits them isn't their young leader, but a world full of horror, where only a few survive.
Is that a crossover?
I'm assuming it's a crossover with Dead by Daylight.
I really hope you're wrong, because that would be incredibly dumb.
Adam means nothing to Blake! Well, then why does she keep seeing him?
I mean, to be fair, it could be, oh, hey, that's the guy that cut my friend's arm off and I'm terrified of.
I mean, she only became a terrorist for him. Holy. Diary of a Beast! When a mission goes bad, Blake starts to feel changes. She keeps a diary to keep herself in check and record the changes she feels. However, once strange things start to happen, will there be anyone left to read it?
Uh-oh. Sneaky's laughing. That's never a good
sign. What is this pairing? A helping mom! After Yang is left heartbroken by breaking up with Ruby, she starts to drown her sorrows in alcohol. However, Blake has a plan on how to get her partner back to her old self, and she needs the help of her mother to do it.
Hey,
Callie
I need
times
to hook up with my
Yang!
friend.
Callie times Yang! Raven times Ruby!
I'm sorry, what was that last one?
Raven times Ruby. I want to know the logic here.
Sneaky,
I'm
wait,
I'm
Sneaky,
morbidly curious.
Sneaky, we need to go consult the chart. We have to see what these ships are called.
Ah, fuck, I'll find it. There it is, Ruby shipping chart.
I can't breathe.
Ruby Raven is Flying Petals, Red Feather, Silver Samurai, next best thing with 3 question marks.
I'm disappointed with that. That's not nearly as creative as I was hoping for. Alright, now is there one for Yang and Callie?
Hang on, the shipping chart actually broke my Firefox tab. Hang on.
I wish my lungs actually worked. Nani the fuck? Raven's new summer. Yang gets a sudden visit from Crow, who warns her about her mother being obsessed with Summer, and that she's going after Ruby. However, his warning could be too late, as Raven is going after her new summer rose. Yandere Raven. Ruby times Blake on the side.
On the side? What? I got a side of that? Just walk into the Olive Garden, get some of that.
Just a side of lesbianism, don't worry guys, it's just a dashing.
Let's see. You said it was Yang and Kali, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, this
Correct.
one's... It's just Tabby Cat. That's
Okay.
That's it. That's
so boring.
You know, I've noticed the further we get in volumes and lower the quality of the show, the lower the quality of the ship names seem to be getting. I think a lot of the clever fans are just dropping the show.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if this is
Just
the
stop
kind of
caring.
What the shit is this? Callie wants a kitty. Team Ruby goes to visit Blake's parents,
No.
so their fondest teammate can patch things up. However, their visit brings something in Callie, who becomes very keen in having Ruby as her new daughter. Unrelated Yang times Ruby on the side.
Look, author, just because you're just going, no, they're totally not related, so no one will know about my incest fetish, doesn't mean it's working.
Oh. Ruby times Coco, Real World AU. Jesus. More Ruby times Yang. Yang times Ruby. Yang times Ruby because they slept together as young sisters during nightmares.
Way to make everything creepy, author.
And this one, he just straight up calls them sisters, so I'm just gonna assume this is before he realized, oh, I can hide it by saying they're not related.
Except they can't.
Well, you and I know that. I don't think the author knows that.
No, Pedro, C8, my dear friend, my dear Brazilian friend. that doesn't stop Archive of Our Own, because I go there and I'm like, all right, so this is actually something I want to talk about. Thank you for letting me seek into this. So I was reading a fic.
Oh.
Last week I was reading a fic. It was fairly long. It was actually kind of cool. It was on Archive. It was a My Hero Academia fic in which Izuku had a quirk. Oh, shocker, right? Except this quirk was basically he turns into the personification of a nightmare. It's like, his body tears apart and everything starts eroding around him, and I was like, okay, so how's the author gonna roll this? And the author rolled it by having Izuku have major depression, major social anxiety and disorders, it's absolute pants at even, like, talking to people or being around them, scared of his own shadow, and his quirk was based on his own power of fear. So, I was like, alright, I'm liking this. I'm jiving with this fic. I'm liking this. And then, he gets into My Hero Academia, or whatever the fuck the school's called. And
UA?
yeah, whatever. No, Daymare, not Leviathan. Daymare. Anyway. And so we're getting around 50k words in, and I'm liking it so far. The author has a very good take on mental problems and how it affects social situations, and I'm liking how he's portraying everything, and it's going good. And then I start getting a little bit worried, right? Because I did check. This is a general fic. It's an adventure fic. It's a body horror fic. So I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be worried too much about the what's gonna happen in the romance, right? Yeah. So, you guys all remember Hard Dude, right? Kirishima, what the fuck his name is? The guy who can harden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He starts being protective of Izuku, poor Izuku, because Bakugo always picks on him. He's like, yo, man, that's not manly and shit. Lay the fuck off him.
Alright, hold on a minute. Bakugo really wouldn't pick on Izuku much if he actually had a quirk, though. Like, he'd still be a dick, but
yeah,
he
no,
wouldn't be targeting him specifically.
Yeah, I know. But I believe the way the author is trying to describe this one is that Izuku was terrified of his quirk, and so he told everyone that he was quirkless because he didn't want anyone to know that he turned into basically the personification of death and decay. And also, he goes insane when he does it.
I mean, I guess if that's what it actually is, I mean, that's kind of fair, but still.
And so, I know. This is just the author's rationalization. I was like, alright, that's not too far of a stretch. I'll buy it. And anyway, so, Bakugo's being Bakugo, and Kirishima's like, lay off him, man. He's scared of his own damn shadow. He doesn't need you fucking blowing his face off, because that's what happens in the, fight hero versus villain training scene. And, I'm starting to get worried. Because how the author's having Kirishima described by Izuku is, he's a sun, his brilliant energy is pepping me up. I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. So it starts building up and building up and building up. No Zarlan, thank God, his accent and microphone completely blows me out and makes me rage. You can barely understand the guy, but he's a great fun to have around. But anyway, so I'm saying, so this fic is again labeled general, labeled E for everyone, right? Get to the end of the sports festival arc, and it goes to a Kirishima point of view, and the author has, because So the author had allayed my worries at one point by having Izuku be more attracted to Zero Gravity Girl, Iruka.
As it should be.
Yes. And Kirishima also said he was, straight during some dialogue that was going on. And then he goes to a Kirishima point of view at the end of the sports festival. And Kirishima's like, oh man, I feel really bad for Izuku. I want to be a better friend to him, but I'm not like that, and I don't think he is either. But I think I could be gay for him. And I'm just like...
Okay, then I
was just like, you can choose to be gay, author? That's an interesting opinion you have there, author. That a established straight character can choose to be gay. So, yeah, anyway, point of the story, fuck 803. Fuck Archive of our own. Screw that website and screw its bullshit. Like, there is so many tags. There is so many ways to filter and sort on that fucking website. And I was like, sort of supportive of it. I was like, okay, that's kind of neat. That's kind of useful. Maybe if I just don't, maybe if I do minus mail times mail, I can, get away from it and just get some good wholesome fix that don't have shit romance in it. No. Even under the E for everyone, even under the general non-romance section, I still have gay fix. I still have gay romance fix. Because that's what I want in my mental disorder Izuku fic. Is some gay relationship. It's just like, I didn't come here for that. I didn't come here for that. Even if it was a straight relationship, I still probably would have been on the fence of I didn't come here for that. Like, this was labeled as general. This was not labeled as a relationship fic. This was not labeled as a romance fic. I did not come here for romances or relationships. I came here for a mentally disordered Izuku. The author did not give me that. So. The power of boner compels him. Yeah, pretty much. You can't fucking find anything on AO3. No, basically. You can't escape the guy. Anyway, so back to this horrible fic. Now that I've gotten that rant out and my two illustrious co-hosts have decided to kill themselves.
Well, you were in the middle of a rant, and none of us really cared.
Well, fuck you, I guess, then.
We're just like, Sneaky's gonna rant, and there's no point in saying anything. Because he's just going to rant.
Maybe sometimes I want you to say things. Everything like that? Maybe I'm
What am I supposed to say? I agree. Here's what I would have added. I agree with your rant. The end.
Anyway, so Blake's a pedophile who's now attracted to, in her view, a child. Yang. Even though she has been in many relationships, Yang has always loved only one person. All the other persons she has gotten together with have only been there for fun or to forget the person she loved. But in the end, she could not get that one person out of her heart. Her stepsister, Ruby. Stupid. Yes, stepsister. That's right, I said it. Unknown to Ruby, she was not related to Yang at all. You see, Yang's father, Tai Yang, and Ruby's mother, Summer, got together soon after Yang's mother disappeared. At first, Summer was simply trying to comfort an old friend since she had been in the same situation with Ruby's father. That changed over time and became something more. A similar change happened with Yang after she found out she was not related to Ruby. Wait, author. Okay. So to anyone who's not picking up on this, the author is trying to say that Summer Rose, with Ruby already being born, decided to comfort Tai Yang because her husband left and Tai Yang's wife left. And she brought Ruby with her to do this comforting for Yang as well, I guess, or something. Basically, what what he's trying to say is that Ruby was born before Summer Rose had sex with Tai Yang, which would make Ruby older, but she's not, because reasons.
Also, they would still be related. It's still the same mom.
No. They share a dad.
Oh, right, it's Tai Yang, right. Look, it's been so long since I cared, man. Regardless.
Oh, well, yes, we're still on this fic arm. Don't worry, we're moving on soon. This chapter's almost done. Well, my patience with this chapter is almost done, I guess you could say. Blah, 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 blah. Decided to treat Ruby as a sister, and then she felt more for her, and now she loves her, and she wants to fuck her, even though she grew up with her. And in this span of time, all three girls realized the same conclusion. They all loved their leader, Ruby Rose, and they would all fuck Ruby Rose only and no one else. And then Ruby walked into the room. And then Weiss, Blake, and Yang all gained anime gleams in their eyes. They stopped in front of Ruby and said simultaneously, "Ruby, would you like to go out with me?" All three girls stopped at the same time and looked at each other. They realized they were all about to say the same thing at the same time, again. Their looks soon turned into glares, and they were looking at each other with anger and hatred. Oh, so easily turned. Ruby, on the other hand, was completely oblivious to everything. Everything okay, guys? We three need to talk to each other. I hope everything's okay. Blah, 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 blah. What the hell you think you're doing clinging to my Ruby, says Blake. Your Ruby? She is mine, screamed Weiss. Oh no, she is not. Rubish is mine. You back off. Thought. Why do you think you'll be in a...
I'll be honest, if that had actually been one of the lines, I'd have been way more invested in the story.
No, it wasn't. I know.
I know it wasn't. That's why I said if it had been.
They
But,
finally
I'd have
all
been
come
you know
down.
what? Author's having some fun here.
I am back. Internet died when you connected terrorism to love for little girls. It's the FBI. Open up. Waiting for the moment they reveal Crow is actually Ruby's father, probably. They're probably gonna pull some shit like that on us.
Hey, better not.
While Summer Rose was comforting Tai Yang, Crow and Summer Rose did the horizontal tango. Plot twist, when it starts to look like Ruby will finally get it on with Yang, a gay scene between Crow and Tai Yang is instead written. Anyway, How do you think you'll be good enough for Ruby? Blake says. I'm obviously the best to be her mate. No one says that. No one says mate. Like, literally, no one says mate. And it's actually getting kind of frustrating how often I see this in fan. Like, I first learned people even use that to describe two people having sex with each other
Wait, what?
through
What are you
fanfiction.
talking about?
Mate.
Oh, yeah.
Fanfiction is the one that introduced me to that concept of using the word mate to indicate two people having sex. And I'm just like, nobody in real life has ever said that in the past 100 years.
Oh boy. If you read ahead a little bit, they start making some very mean comments. You're an ex-terrorist. I mean, good job, Weiss. Go for the low blow.
You, don't make me laugh. How could you be for the best for Ruby? You're an ex-terrorist for the love of God. Well, hey, points to you, author. You didn't use Monty or Ohm.
And you pointed out a completely, perfectly reasonable objection.
Hey, remember that episode? Some of your friends? What's that supposed to mean? The fact that she's an ex-fucking terrorist? Oh, Rooster Teeth trying to throw shade on the
A
whole racism
well-known
thing.
ex-terrorist at that?
Oh, it's just, oh man.
Oh no, it was supposed to be a racist thing. The problem was they did it.
They just forgot the character they were referencing. Not to mention that Rubes is a fun-loving girl, while you are as lively as a statue. You just read books all day and have the most lifeless personality I have ever seen. Wow, author is really throwing some serious shade at Rooster Teeth.
I feel like they're unintentionally doing it, but I approve.
Yes. Blake smirked at her teammates. You forgot that Ruby already knows about my past and she doesn't mind it, not to mention that she shares my love of books.
No, I don't think so about that
No,
one.
I think the only book she loves is the one that has guns and bullets on the front of it.
That's not even a book. That's a magazine.
While you, Yang, didn't care about what I was reading when we first met, Ruby actually was interested. That's being awkwardly social. Is asking the person what kind of book they're reading.
Which is what anyone who actually wants to read a book and not be bothered responds with something horrible.
The two of us share something that neither of you do. Okay, also, I want to mention that they're using... This is supposedly, like, post-Blake Faunus terrorism arc, right? But Blake is using... Ruby asked about the book I was reading as proof that A, Ruby loves books, and B, Ruby loves Blake's books. No further proof. No, like, invented proof of, like, oh, I shared my book with her after she asked, last week or some shit. No. Straight up, the canonical, hey, what book are you reading, is the proof the author is using as Ruby loves books.
Like, for crying out loud, I've had the dickhead jocks at school come up and ask me what book they're reading what book I was reading before they made fun of me for. I didn't care, but...
Yeah. Besides, I'm not as lifeless as you guys think. I can be a fun person, too.
Sure, I'll show her how to paint the town red. You do know that doesn't involve killing people in the streets, right?
Weiss and Yang frowned. The Faunus had a couple of good points. Jesus Christ, Alpha, that's like saying the Negro had a couple of good points. Like...
Yeah, it's about that level.
You know, the best part is, I don't think the author intended for any of this.
Oh, absolutely.
The biggest lie Blake ever told was that she was a fun person. Blake and Ruby did share a similar interest, one that they didn't. Also, Ruby was not the type of person to judge a person based on their past. In fact, unlike you two, apparently. In fact, she was the one who wanted to find Blake the most, when the Faunus ran away. God damn it, author. Like, I know it's because of the way I'm reading it that it's making me think about that, but it's just like... I don't know. It's just reminding me of it for some reason. The Faunus is off the plantation. We need to get her back.
Oh, please don't. Wait,
Stop.
Sneaky, I have an idea for our next terrible fanfiction.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Go ahead.
Look, all I'm saying is that it may or may not involve Uncle Tom's cabin.
Oh, so what? Uncle Gira's bungalow?
Yo, I'd go to Uncle Garrett's bungalow.
I hate
You,
you both
I would
so
say, you know
much.
what? That sounds like Gira running a club. That's what that sounds like. You know what? Scratch the other idea. That's what we're gonna write about.
No, Uncle
Gira turns
Gira's
menagerie
bungalow
into a
makes
club.
me like Uncle Gira's bungalow reminds me of like Rocket Power. It's like some like fucking seaside shop that sells smoothies.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
You know what? No one's ever done a beachside smoothie AU. We will be the first.
Okay, watch Isley prove us wrong.
Isley isn't here.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
So it's like impossible to prove us wrong tonight because Isley isn't here. Anyway. While the two girls were contemplating the teammates' words, Blake glared at Weiss. And what about you? You're just a stuck-up princess who thinks the world revolves around you. How could a selfless and sweet person like Ruby ever fall for someone like you? Weiss crossed her arms and huffed, and blah blah blah, I wasn't that nice, but I have changed, and Ruby has brought out the best in me, and I am her partner, I spend the most time with her, and opposites attract. Duh. If opposites attract, you would have a penis. Just throwing that out
Do
there.
not give the author ideas.
The heiress turned her gaze on Yang and frowned. And how are you supposed to be the one for Ruby? You're her sister. Stepsister, actually, Yang corrected, causing the other two girls to look at her with shocked expressions. Ruby isn't my actual dad's daughter, so there's no relationship between us. She doesn't know it yet, though. So how is she supposed to fall in love with you? This is actually a very good point. She still thinks that you're her sister. It was Yang's turn to smirk.
Oh, by the way, I read ahead. Boy, does this entire paragraph just dumb, make no sense, and make me...
Ruby is actually calling the cops right now. Probably. Ruby is way too innocent for her own good. Do you really think she's going to think about that when she finally starts to have romantic feelings? The author has apparently never been in a romantic relationship before.
And doesn't understand anything about how the human psyche works.
No, she will fall in love with anyone. No matter who that person is, and I am the best candidate for it. Because you may have grown close to her, but I've known her the entire life.
Hang on. She'll fall in love with any person, So how can you make sure you're that
Like,
What is
if
the
you're not
plan
careful,
here?
she's gonna walk down the hall and fall for port.
We
What
are
was-
tied together by a bond stronger than anything you two could ever have. What the shit is this?
I don't understand what's happening anymore.
Are you surprised that the author does not have romantic relationships in their life? No. Oh, so tell me, what do you do? Oh, I write online incestual lesbian porn. Poorly written incestual lesbian porn.
Now
Oh,
give
that's
me a
interesting.
job!
I'm gonna leave now. Thanks for the blind date.
Please never contact anyone who even remotely knows me again.
Ruby will choose me. I am her partner. Our mutual love for books will be the deciding factor. Rubes will choose me. We have known each other for our entire lives. On second thought, I have been horrible to her. Maybe she won't choose me. I haven't been that close to her. We might like books, but we haven't hung out. Ruby doesn't know about her true relationship with me. What if she can never see me as anything but a sister?
Yeah, you might have wanted to figure that one out first.
Well, that would take common sense. I don't know. I genuinely do not know what is worse here. The fact that the author is calling himself out on the idiotic logic the characters are using, or the fact that he used it in the first place. So, should we confess to her? No, she doesn't know anything about romance. I'm gonna be the first one, says Blake. No, kitty cat, I'm gonna be. Weiss glares at them. No, you dolts, she'll be mine. None of them wanted to wake Ruby, though, so they didn't shout too loud. And then Weiss climbs into Ruby's bunk. Weiss, what do you think you are doing? I just thought Ruby needs company. Before she could get into Ruby's bunk, Blake yanked Weiss away. Oh no, I'm gonna get in her bed. Before the Faunus could get in her leader's bunk. Yang grabbed hold of her and threw her away. The hell you will. I'm getting in her bed.
What happened to not waking her up, lads?
And they all started punching each other, screaming about how they were the ones that are going to sleep with their team leader. And then that woke Ruby up. She saw Blake biting Weiss, who was using her arms to punch Yang, who was pulling Blake's ears. Ruby laid back down on her bed, decided to go back to sleep. I'm not going to get mixed up in that. Hey guys, this is a comedy romance story.
This is a shitpost is what
The
this
only thing comedic about this story is your inability to write comedy. Raping Ruby indeed. Raping Ruby indeed. Alright, so I think we're going to leave a review for this story. It's going to be a very fair and impartial
Make
review.
sure that it isn't on your... Make sure it's on your account, not our account,
Completely
please.
out of character. Characters. Check.
He's not listening, is he, Matt?
Don't worry,
Well,
you are.
It looks like he signed into the right one.
Alright,
Logic.
Look at the review button. It says post review with SneakyDevil.
Check.
excellent.
Yes, Arn. We're aware.
Actually, I'm surprised. He has passable grammar.
I would say, grammar-wise, I didn't see anything particularly offensive.
Supposed to be a comedy.
I think you misspelled asinine.
Only thing
Is
I
it
laughed
ASI or ASI?
at was you. Check.
Cool. I just want to know when the constructive feedback is going to occur.
I said it was going to be fair and impartial. Not that it was going to be constructive.
Sneaky, you need to include some constructive criticism. Otherwise, you're just an asshole.
As for
And
constructive
for the love of God,
criticism.
spell asinine correctly.
How do I spell it correctly?
ASI, not ASA.
Hmm.
I don't know why ASA got through Grammarly. I think Grammarly might be broken.
Maybe enough people typed it incorrectly that it was like, this must be clearly the thing. As for constructive criticism, possibly do not disregard what little characterization Rooster Teeth has done for Team Ruby. Before you start trying to flesh them out, question mark, several times you contradicted yourself in the same or following paragraph. Also, according to your written work, Blake is a pedophile. How about that, guys? Is that good?
I mean, try citing
Probably.
specific things, but at least you did some actual work today.
Wait. Chaotization? Grammarly, what the fuck are you on?
It's adjusted to Sneaky's per specific method of speaking.
Indeed.
I don't even know what this is. Chaotization.
Chaotization. Why does that sound like something Shadow the Hedgehog would do?
I don't know, but it's a fucking word. The act or process of making or becoming chaotic. You know, that's one thing I like about the English language. Usually you can figure shit out with context clues.
Alright, how about, Oh, hello. This is not a Ruby fix, so everyone should be excited, right?
Excited. That's
Campione D times D.
I hate you so much!
A century of war. I am bad at this, end parentheses. A man born in 400 years of war. Now he seeks love, power, victory. Alex makes his presence known. Ha ha, cough. Death to sparkly vampires.
what?
What?
Oh boy! Oh no! Prologue: 100 years of war! A century of war! Where the earth truly became the playground of the god-slaying kings. The Holy War of Genesis! What? Unknown to the humans, the Great War was held every night. This started for the right to challenge the beasts of the end, beasts and monsters from myth. It all started with a vision from the Princess Alice. At the world's end, the greatest of destroyers will seek out the kings. A shining, brilliant sword shall bring the world to flames, and the serpent and the wolf, whose first rule is to kill. Blood which brings 100,000 vermin. The earth monsters that wish to rule the sky, earth, and sea, respectively, shall awaken. O young king who will walk on new worlds bringing calamity and storms, O king of poison who seeks nothing but peas.
Why does this sound like a really shitty Dark Souls thing?
O king who will bring about his own downfall. We call it fall because leave fall down. O king who dreams in addition to king who brings forth strength through who all of you who will fail to rule. O king who walks the right path of heroes. O king who brings nothing but chaos. Oh,
How many more lines?
who
Still going.
will kill the one who gives their fates?
What the fuck? The hell was that mouthful?
Holly Ollie. Everyone say hi to Ollie.
Hello.
Hello.
Most of the times, the other kings did not take well to their homelands being used as a battleground, so they showed their displeasure over it in hindsight, rightly so. What happened next was the involvement of the sixth king ruler of French. What? One such battle was taking place on Earth! As battle royal of the strongest king, the Persian god Anzi Dahaka and the King of Dreams. What? In the process, many human settlements were destroyed and life lost in crossfire. An accident. But between the strongest king of the time, who was admittedly less than noble, the heretic god who didn't care less about humans, and the King of Dreams, who believed in sacrificing a few for the sake of many, was acceptable, it was worse than it should have been. And of course, the Campione of French took offense.
Alright, well, Aaliyah's already gone. Can't really blame them.
What the hell kind
This
of
is why we
stream did I
can't
just
keep
click
viewers.
on? This writing is terrible. Yes, this is basically bye. It's called Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9002. At what point did you think you were gonna come in and get some good fanfiction?
It's already gone, so.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you're browsing through your list of podcasts and you're like, which one should I watch today? Huh, what's this one? This one says Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9002. Oh, I wonder what this is. It's probably great fanfictions they're reading and discussing, right? No. There is no good fanfic here. You have gone too far. You've dug too deep. The Campione of French's name is Han. I guess. She was,
Anyway,
strangely enough, a healer for many of those villages, specifically of toxins and poisons. When the battle neared a village she was in, she took it upon herself to stop all three enemies. At first she was not taken seriously, but when she summoned a monstrous scorpion which cut through the King of Dreams and Azidahaka forces, like a scythe to wheat, they changed their minds. So what did the heretic god do to the Queen of Poison Kill?
What?
It was Sekhet she killed, the Egyptian goddess of scorpions and protector against venom. Obtaining the Legion of Scorpions. Is Campione good? The manga is very meh. Sorry, the anime is very mad. The manga is passable. The light novel is really where it's at in terms of if you want like actual plot development with like characters and shit. Because the manga doesn't show much. The anime is basically a better version of the manga in terms of actually giving visualization to a lot of the scenes that were fairly decent, but not that great. Yeah, a lot of fan service, which is why I tend to like the light novels over the manga. Heretic Azitahaka was the one who stopped the rampaging divine scorpions. The scorpions were all met with the vermin blood ability to create divine beasts out of blood, but she revealed that her authority also turned her into a toxic being, which with only a single touch was deadly. Even her hair and saliva were deadly. And anyone who went near her would die, even the divine beasts. In the end, she forced the kings and God to retreat. While watching in satisfaction, she yelled, "If it's war you fellows want, then so be it." And so France went to war. Again. A few months later, the Queen of Poison entered the war. She died 170 years after she entered the war at the hands of the strongest king. That was unsatisfying, much like the French. Entering a war alone, any devil king was capable of it, and had done so in the century of war. Many of the human kingdoms and empires wished to harness the power of the kings or destroy it to keep their enemies from getting it. All of them were wiped out for their audacity, leaving those Campiones as the sole survivors. The one who joined the war as the fourth candidate had killed Jesus Christ, this is just bad. This is like not even like funny bad. It's not even like we can complain about the plot bad. It's just this really long verbal diarrhea, dry explanation narrative in which the author explains this completely retarded scenario in which that the canon of Campione and D times D is completely ignored. Specifically set up so they can have their totally the strongest Campione ever, OC, who is gonna go wreck face in D times D now, exist. It's just, it wasn't even a good bet. I give it a -1 on the horseshoe scale. That's like a 1 on the normal scale, except it's like it's bad, but it's not even bad and funny. It's like just bad, you know. So
Yeah.
time to make Atin mad.
What? Why? How?
The Spartans of Mandalore.
Oh no.
You handpicked this to annoy me, didn't you?
Yes,
Wait, haven't you been holding this one for a while? Haven't you
I
told me
have.
about this one?
Oh
Oh,
yes.
gee.
They called us the best. Didn't feel like it sometimes. But this was a chance. A chance to make the best. To leave a true, lasting legacy that will be heard across the whole galaxy. This was my chance to change it all, and to make truly the greatest soldier. Wait, no, we already read this, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Haha, your plan to infuriate me has failed.
I guess it's time for chapter 2.
No, no, no. We don't do that here.
I guess it's time for chapter 2 then, Sneaky.
Halo Ruby, Halo Ruby, Halo Mass Effect.
I mean, I don't give much of a shit about Mass Effect, so go nuts.
Fraught with peril.
Probably gonna be bad. Oh, you little bitch. Tension. Time for some ass defects. Yep, pretty much. John was born for war. So I gotta pretty much work this. Woo! All right. Ooh. Maybe I should take a smaller swig. My whole mouth is numb. Maybe I
Good
should have
job.
taken a smaller swig.
Good job.
And even in the wake of defeating the Didact. Oh boy, so we're going into fanfiction territory already.
Oh my god, Halo 4 was not that bad.
There will be no respite. Thrust into the Mass Effect universe, he must either find his place or find his way home, as the presence brings new hope to Shepard and his campaign against the Reaper Armada.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? If they actually got the Chief, like, that's it. That's pretty much every problem in Mass Effect solved.
Except for the Death Fleets.
Except for the what?
The Death Fleets of Reapers. Because, like, the
I
reason
mean-
why what Chief did worked against the Covenant was because he killed all the leaders who were organic and not ships. The problem is it's kind of hard to board and kill a ship that isn't meant to be boarded.
I
Because
mean, Shepard managed it.
Shepard never boarded Harbinger.
No, but A, Harbinger was meant to be boarded. It had a spot inside it for human beings.
Did it?
Sentient beings.
I'm more. Alright. I'm a huge fan of Mass Effect, but I personally find Master Chief John more sympathizable than Mass Effect John or Jane. I debated with myself if I would use Femshep. And that's just because within canon material, we see Halo John suffer a great deal more and stay much more resolute despite the suffering he personally goes through and witnesses.
He was also a hell of a lot more brainwashed, my dude.
Yes. His personality is expanded upon a whole lot in the books.
No, it really isn't.
No.
No, his personality is very straightforward.
I
Point me at
protect
the-
friends.
Not even that. Point me where you need me to break stuff.
If my friends are there, I protect friend too.
Yeah.
He's basically an isekai protagonist.
But to this point, whilst going from playing meh to Halo, I was inspired to write a story and came up with nothing, mostly due to being content with the story, so I decided a crossover was the natural choice. Should there be romance? Between who? And what kind of romance would be in? Should John have romance? Please share thoughts.
Listen, the only romance Spartan 117 should ever have involves Cortana. Maybe one of the Spartans from Blue Team.
Maybe Kelly.
Maybe.
Maybe Kelly. Maybe Kelly. But, I mean, didn't they, like, get, like, chemically neutered?
Yes!
Yeah.
That was, in fact, part of being made into a Spartan.
Alright, let's keep going. His heavy brow was firmly set in a frown. You can frown with your eyebrows?
Apparently.
It just makes me cross-eyed. His vibrant blue eyes were looking shrewdly at nothing, as if solely focused
Wait,
on his
hold on it.
thoughts.
They were looking shrewdly at nothing. You can't look shrewdly at something that isn't there.
I attack the darkness.
I keep my eyes on the air.
Happy New Year. Hey, Calvin, you're a little bit late, but hey, Happy New Year. Keep an eye out for that air. You never know when it might attack. A steady frown held control over his facial features. Lips that were once full and stress-free were taut with upset. With upset. Skin that was once smooth and unmarred was wrinkled and scarred. Cheeks sunken with stress and sadness. John wasn't the picture of a man that any mother would want for her son. The thought very briefly made him wonder of his mother, his real mother.
No, it didn't. They beat that the hell out of him. Like, they made sure thoughts of family were gone.
Not Catherine Halsey. Not that he held against anything Halsey for what happened to him and his adoptive brothers and sisters. He was sure that he would have been melted into slag of a Covenant bombardment on one of the many human worlds lost.
Later in the books, didn't John get pretty cross with Halsey? Like most of the Spartans when they realized what had been done to them?
A little bit. Are you gonna go watch Monkey Jones, you piece of shit? You garbage human.
What? Monkey Jones?
Yeah, Monkey Jones is this, like, shitposty shitlord that got kicked off of YouTube for shitposting.
I see.
Yeah. He does game stuff sometimes, and sometimes he does, I don't know, podcasts about jokes and shit. I don't know. Yeah. Traitor. Quickly, get out your spinning electric baton and beat him up. So he's like the PewDiePie thing? No, he's like a 4chaner that has a podcast. He's like actual shitlord shitposts, not just memes. You know, he made a video where he dates Elliot Rodger,
Who?
the school shooter.
Oh. That's fucking retarded.
Yeah, like I said, he makes shitposty comedy videos, and they're okay. I don't really care for him though, and a lot of people don't. So, yeah. No one should give 4chan as a stream. I hate to break it to you, Calvin, but you're on one.
Not quite true.
I mean, I frequent
We have at
4chan.
least a modicum of decency
Hey, I frequent
between
4chan.
me and Matt.
Yes. Anyway, so blah 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 blah, edgy drama, blah blah. A ping sounded in his helmet, arousing his attention. Tech-infused hardened glass of his golden visor. Purple pros, purple pros, purple pros, purple pros, purple pros, purple pros. His helmet works. Purple pros. Oh my god, I have a radio signal. John frowned at the oddity, temporarily pushing his upset at the very recent loss of Cortana from his mind. He couldn't fathom why any UNSC vessel would need to ping his frequency as a handshake for communications, especially when they knew he'd be in conflict aboard the Mantle's approach. Out of habit, he sent a frequency ping back to whoever was trying to handshake him. The result was instantaneous. A distinctly female voice spoke through his helmet speakers. You have entered Omega space. If your flight suit is not disabled, please either dock at the main port or vacate your location. You are in a freight zone. John's left eyebrow rose in surprise and curiosity, as his right stayed in his confused frown. He pulled the facts he was aware of together quickly. Omega was typically a word used within UNSC military call signs and code names, but he was not aware of any space station above or around Earth that used such. Someone clearly had eyes on him to ascertain that he was in some kind of suit, but concerning of all, being told a warning that he was in a freight zone. The last thing known above Earth was that any and all freight zones had been abandoned and suspended in the wake of the Diadex attack. The woman who had spoken to him was clearly not UNSC and clearly not privy to his very recent conflict. Both of his eyebrows climbed his forehead as his eyes widened, a result of his mind jumping to a conclusion. I fell through the slipspace portal. This is Sierra 117. My suit's thrusters have insufficient capacity to carry me to the dock. This is already unrealistic. He's talking.
Jokes aside, he doesn't do much talking.
No, he really doesn't. The most he talked was in Halo 2, in that first cutscene, where he's like, do I really have to be here? And Johnson's like, yeah. He's like, okay.
Now, to be fair, in the books, he is shown to be a good bit more talkative when not in a combat scenario.
True. But he's not like a conversation-y type.
No, but he certainly wouldn't be above giving necessary information.
True. Alright, blah blah blah, tense silence. He instantly drew comparisons to High Charity. He realized this station was barely a fraction of the Covenant's former mobile homeworld. Sierra 117, a shuttle is on your way. You're lucky that Shepard's with Arya right now. That answer only made John wonder more. To him, it almost sounded like code. Arya was clearly the individual or group who commanded the station, and that statement that he was lucky that this Shepard being present implied that Arya didn't care much for the safety, but Shepard did. John couldn't help but wonder if it was code or just coincidental names. The chances of someone being called Shepard bringing him to safety were incredibly small, given his history. That's fair. That's actually fair. You know, being the fact that he killed Truth and, you know, what were the other names? Truth. Fucking help me out here, Atin, you piece of shit. Fucking useless cunt. What do I even pay you for?
I think Atin has died.
I'm here, I just don't have anything to say.
No! I asked you a question, you piece of shit!
And I'm ignoring your question because you're doing these purposefully to anger me.
No, I don't actually remember the other prophets! Now fucking answer me!
Well, I remember Truth and Regret.
Okay.
Mercy,
Regret.
that was the other one, Mercy.
Okay, there we go.
I think
See?
it was Mercy. I think.
Probably Mercy.
I'm not positive.
That makes sense. Alright, point being, the author doesn't have a point. Alright, so far, it's not a bad story, it's just, very purple prosy at the start. His HUD shifted into a new setting, hundreds of tiny service shuttles and vessels buzzed around him. Greenlit shuttles veered away for him. The vessel thankfully didn't.
Yeah, okay,
Sneaky.
It was Truth, Mercy, and Regret. That was it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah. His musings on the Shepherd would be good. And blah blah blah, slid hatch open, visor was sleek. John guessing if the suit and its accompanying helmet were an environmental suit of body armor. He instantly drew the comparison. She was with a normal human build, which was small compared to his large frame. You're a big guy, aren't you? John didn't react, he didn't know how. Sensing his lack of interest, blah blah blah, she takes him on board, blah blah blah, where are we? She looks at him, we're at Omega. Omega, blah blah blah. Asteroid munitions, none of them are remotely like this. Am I in UN human space? Human space? You're a long way from human space. John was silent and stood statue still. Does that mean she isn't human? How else could she speak English if she wasn't human? He justified to himself, hoping that she truly was human. What else could she be? We don't have any species that physically resemble humans so much besides the Forerunners, and they're all dead.
Okay, hold up a minute. Grunts can speak English. jackals can speak English,
Yes, it's true.
and elites can speak English. I don't think the brutes ever learned, but they never really got a chance.
No, they do learn, but enough to be like, I'm gonna rip you apart and shit like that. And, basically just mockery stuff.
Yeah. But all of that suffice to say, the chief knows quite well there are many aliens that can speak the human language.
Basically, anyone can speak English except for Germans. Yep, that about covers it. We all know Germans aren't human. Blah, blah, blah. How did you get here? Slipspace. Is that some kind of drug? Are you human? Of course not. John stiffened. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that. There are plenty of humans. But nope, I'm still true to my blue. She was an alien. She spoke English. She was confused by his confusion. And she was familiar with humans, even making jokes about it and her color. But she had no clue what slipspace was. I mean... No, this is Halo 4, so he should be fully aware about slipspace taking you places.
For crying out loud, if this author actually read the books, they'd know about the time they found the magic Forerunner crystal.
Well, I mean, not only that, by the time Halo 4 took place, we had already revealed the fact that Cortana went into the past and killed herself on the Hierophant.
Wait, what do you mean she went into the past?
Well, in the Halo...
Oh, wait, no, I think because this had something to do with... Because they got the magic Forerunner crystal, and, like, she's like, I'm pretty sure all these AIs are... All the Covenant AIs are me. Horribly corrupt.
Yeah, no, what happened was, is she... they first encountered the corrupt AI versions of her, but it is later revealed, like, 4 or 5 books down, that she, like, sent a probe into slipspace, broadcasting a warning, but she never set an exit space. So it would just keep going through slipspace, and her hope was that it would ping any ships that were traveling through slipspace to tell them what was going on.
Right.
But that ended up traveling into the past, and the Covenant found it and used that copy of her that she put on the time-traveling probe, not intentionally time-traveling, but time-traveling probe. They kept copying her AI base to try and make AIs for them.
Worse and worse.
Yeah.
Until like, by the time you get to the modern day, well, the quote-unquote modern, each one was, like, capable of opening a door.
Yeah. Well, no, not that. No, like, the AI was in control of the Hierophant, but it was, like, basically crazy.
No, I distinctly remember her mentioning there were multiple.
There might have been multiple, yeah. But no, Calvin, she ended up killing herself because what happened is the probe she sent back with a copy of her AI went back, like, was it 200 years or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And the Covenant found it and had been using that as a base for their AI, and it was weird. Yeah, she killed herself.
Well, and then, don't forget, she also killed herself in Halo 4.
That too. Yeah. But, I mean, so Chief should already know about the whole weirdness that slipspace can get up to.
Well, he knows quite well about it, for crying out loud. Like, all the stuff that happened to him.
Yeah. So,
and not even that.
I'm judging the author right now.
Yeah. First of all, it's a well-documented effect that the Spartans are aware of.
Yes.
Like, things going...
Wasn't it a joke said at one point, like, don't let go of the ship or you don't know who knows where you'll end up or some shit like that?
I'm pretty sure that was a joke at some point. But, like, the Spartans received ridiculously advanced education.
Yeah.
And, like I said, as far as the USNC is concerned, things going wrong in slipspace, whether it be time travel or showing up in the wrong spot, like, Those are all documented.
Yeah. I mean, and not only that, it's like the author says they were a fan of the books, but then they're getting all of these book-based facts wrong. Like, it's one thing if they're like, you know, I really liked playing Halo 4, and then I switched over to Mass Effect 3 or something, and I had an idea for this crossover, and then it's like, okay, it's understandable if you don't know the books, but then you go on to say, I read all the books. And it's like, well, now you just lost your excuse as to why you're not getting certain things correct. Anyway, so blah blah blah. John turns to her and goes, "I'm not from this world." She laughed again. That makes two of us. You know, it would be better to say I'm not from this universe or some shit. You know, my dude. Being the intelligent individual you are. I'm not from this world, he says. From one galaxy-spanning empire to another galaxy-spanning empire. Wow, neither am I. No, I mean, I'm not from this world. You mean... universe? Galaxy? Reality? There's a whole bunch of other terminology you can use, author. That would be far more fitting than saying, I'm not from this world.
Especially because the chief is, according to this, since he just lost Cortana, he is hot off the events of Halo 4, which means he knows for a damn fact that the Flood is a a cosmos-spanning plague.
Yeah.
Like, it's not isolated to the Milky Way. Love that little retcon they put in, by the way, so they can bring the Flood back in the next game, or the game after that.
Yep, Cam, why would you ever get rid of a reoccurring enemy like that? That's too useful. No, he repeated, I am not from this world. He gestured to everything. Silence reigned inside the small room. You mean, docking, doors opening. True to the pilot's word, the doors opened. Further observation, the docks were not civilian. But they were, however, blah blah blah, the pirates, is this a pirate station? Not exactly. Arya, she's one of my kind, is the leader. I guess the best you could say is it's a criminally organized government which enables crime and mercenary factions. A righteous part of him wanted to shoot everyone, but he had to admit that the same foundation of civilizations was here. Look, you're obviously human, like no human I've ever seen, but you're a human. If you're from a different, world, all I can do is take you to Arya and see what she thinks could be best for you. At this, John did completely settle his hand over the Magnum.
Alright, hold on a minute. The UNSC has really never... He wouldn't really have a problem with, like, pirates and smugglers, because the UNSC used those things all the time.
Yeah, the UNSC was fine with pirates and smugglers as long as it was their pirates and smugglers.
Yeah. So even if he didn't like them, he would be like, but he completely understood the necessity.
God damn it, humans. Hey, we need rules of law. Okay, these people are breaking the law. But what if they paid us?
No, or don't forget my personal favorite. We need the rule of law. But what if we paid someone to break the law, but against people we don't like?
Yeah, exactly.
And thus privateers were invented. Okay, so you see pirates? Yeah, I'm gonna pay you to only be a pirate to the Spanish.
Well, no, it was more sailors, and then they would pay the sailors to leave the British military to go be pirates against the Spanish, and then most of the privateers eventually got to the point of going, well, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna put you pirate to everyone. And then they became pirates instead of privateers. Private volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How long has this rant lasted? What rant?
I mean, technically,
Like a minute or two?
Unless he's counting the entire podcast as a rant.
I mean, if you're counting the podcast as a rant, it's going to be an hour and 46 minutes. But I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how long has this rant lasted. Am I missing something?
No idea.
No, I don't have any rant stuff up. I don't know what you're talking about. The derail.
What derail?
What derail? We're talking about
this
stuff
is all
happening.
decidedly related to the
This
canon.
is all in the story. We haven't derailed in a while, actually. Oh, C8. Anyway, so, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, his left hand hovered over the Forerunner bolt shot on his left quad guard. She held up her hands pleadingly. Woo, woo, woo. I get you're probably military too. Special forces or something, right? John made no memorable response. I used to be military too. So I know how it is, the whole principles thing. Arya is not a criminal, though. She cringed at her choice of words. Well, she is, but it's not like you think. She keeps the entire terminus systems in check and relatively safe. John didn't like the sound
She's decidedly a criminal.
No, it is criminal.
Also, I'm pretty sure he's in the military. So why doesn't she just immediately take him to a public phone and say, here, call your boss?
Because Arya would shoot her?
Would she, though? Or would Arya be like,
No,
"Thank you for getting this
Arya would
problem
straight
off
up
my
shoot her.
station"?
Well, no. Because there's two ways this goes. It's thank you for getting rid of the problem, but the problem here is not a normal problem. If like an N6 showed up or some shit, and she's like, here's the phone, get the fuck out, Arya would be like, hey, thank you. But we got an unknown target using unknown call signs who showed up with unknown information using unknown armor and unknown weapons, who's clearly special forces and human military. Arya would like to see that.
Or just make sure the phone booth is bugged.
Make sure the phone booth is bugged and primed.
And then have him call the police.
I thought we were still talking about the chief should know about Slipstream. No.
No.
We're talking about the British and the Spanish. Anyway, blah blah. Crime lord distributing justice, but he released a tense breath. Okay, follow me. John did as she said. Nudge a button in his helmet, increasing the magnetism of the clamps on all of his weapons and ammo. Caught by the greedy glance sent his way. If you can take care of yourself, Omega's not a bad place to be. If there was any tension, it was entirely one-sided. He was used to silence. I mean, you get here, you get a job, blah, blah, blah. Some world building, it's okay. It's following generic stuff, so it's alright. Blah, blah, blah. Some miscellaneous world building to pass the time as they're walking, and he's not just doing it. They walked down there and they got there. So, you know, that's okay. Blah, 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 blah. John was impressed by the cultural attitude of the docking bay. It was a pool of human and alien cultures. What area?
pretty sure the chief would see a bunch of aliens and get real fucking twitchy.
I mean, he had no problem working with the Covenant Resistance.
I mean, after a couple of years, yeah. Do you recall the first time he met the Arbiter?
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. The second time he met the Arbiter after the Arbiter had been kicked out.
Yes. Yeah, I'm aware. Still, they're not Covenant, and it's not like he's like. It's not like this is Warhammer 40k where it's purge the Xenos. Like, I can understand, like, he did kind of, like, magnetize all of his stuff so no one could touch any of it. But, like, I really don't see him being too twitchy. Maybe just your standard special forces observing everything in the room sort of level of awareness. But not like, oh man, these Xenos are gonna kill me. Because, like, there's also humans around interacting with them just fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, he should be more... Just because of the way that he is, he should be more... Like, even when they were working with the... even when they worked with, like, jackals as traders, all the Spartans were still like, I am ready to shoot you in the goddamn...
Okay, well, yeah, but that's jackals. Like, that's jackals, though, you know.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, they are decidedly twitchy even around non-hostile aliens.
Okay, but again, those are also species of aliens they previously had hostile contact with. We're talking about aliens that they've never seen before. That are
but
not
hostile.
hostile.
This way. Has the UNSC had any positive first contact? No.
I mean, technically speaking, they had first contact with AI positively.
Actually, wouldn't their initial contact with engineers technically be fine? They just jumped the gun.
No, the initial contact with the engineers was them blowing up. Now, granted, they later figured out that was a bomb harness, but still.
Oh, yeah. They did do that to the poor engineers. This channel has a bot? No, we don't have a bot. If there's a bot in the chat, it's because there's a bot in the chat, not because I put it there.
There's a bot in the Discord.
Positivity bot. I think positivity bot spelt with a 0 is just someone making fun of positivity bot, which is spelt with an O. Because I know there's a positivity bot that posts a bunch of, like, stay positive, thank you for being positive messages. I don't know about positivity's bot spelt with 0, though. Anyway, my name's Theriel. What's yours? 117. Is that a rank? Yes. Special Forces.
No, she's like, wait a minute, isn't that a rank?
He doesn't believe in bots.
No, it's not that he doesn't believe in them, it's that he's too stupid to use them, let's be clear.
Look, no, I'm not too stupid to use them, they're just really hard to use. And I'm too lazy to use them.
There we go.
Hey, there is a difference between laziness and it's streaming right now. Cool. There's a difference between laziness and stupidity, thank you very much. Okay, so, blah blah blah, she's social, he isn't. Sorry ma'am, I'm from a special branch of the military, Spartan Ops. In reality, John would have never told anyone about this, but he was quickly dwelling upon thoughts of how he could ever get back to his own reality. Even on a philosophical point of if his universe even needs him anymore. That's fair.
Like, I am kind of glad that...
I kind of want a little bit more reaction out of John post-Cortana death.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing, right? If he had Cortana there, to be like, look, we can fix this. We have fixed worse.
Well, I mean... Maybe, like... Well, I mean, I'm not saying Cortana has to be alive. I'm just saying, like, I want more reaction of Cortana death. Because, like...
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying, like, specifically, even for as taciturn as John normally is.
Also, on top of that, like in terms of reaction of Cortana death, maybe have like quotes from Cortana flashing through his mind as he's encountering certain things. Like upon his realization he's in a different universe, he gets maybe the quote from Cortana of "we fixed worse," like stuff like that. Like that would have added more flavor to the story.
Basically, give us the Cortana flashbacks from Halo 3, but don't make them annoying.
Give us the PTSD! I'm not wrong.
Because especially because at the end of Halo 4, I would like to point out Cortana both made herself into a semi-real being, told her she loved him, and kissed him.
Yeah, and then also left with a quote of like, which one of us is the machine and which one of us is the human or some shit.
Like, I don't know about Halo 5. Well, like what they did in Halo 5, but isn't Halo 5 like he goes AWOL because it's like there's like a microscopic chance she isn't dead and he's going to find her?
Yeah. And then yeah.
That entire game is, oh dear, the Spartan caught feelings.
Oh no, the Spartan found his first boner.
It didn't work! It didn't work!
Morning wood, more like morning steel. Hey-o! Throwing out there.
Yeah. Like, the point is, there was an entire game about him going, I have emotions.
Yes.
And those emotions are angry. Is that when the Doom Marine was born?
Yes. John, are the other soldiers as social as you? John genuinely thought his response as they slowed down. We're all relatively social with one another, but there are a few who could fit into a normal crowd. Thea laughed. I suppose you don't take sarcasm so well, do you? His shoulders rose and fell a few centimeters in response.
I mean, are there any that could fit? Like, maybe... Oh, what was the guy in blue team? Fred?
Fred.
Yeah, Fred. Fred's like the only one I can think of.
Fred was the only one they were like, I think we can relatively be safe promoting you to a higher grade.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I think Fred, like, all the rest were, like here's the thing, right? One of the reasons I love, oh my god, what was that one? The series of short films? Infinite or Legends?
Legends.
Yeah, Legends was because that was one of the first times that, like, Bungie-approved media showed Spartans going, hey, Halsey, fuck yourself.
Basically, yep. Blah, 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 blah. It's, dead life, whatever. Arya's up there this way. Blue-skinned pole dancers. He totally stepped into a completely different kind of cultural melting pot. Yes, you did. You stepped into a strip bar in space. Arya is hundreds of years old, and she is the queen of Omega. Don't upset her. John figured that made sense, so he answered with a nod. No one past this point. We need to speak with Arya. Theria cried angrily and jabbed a finger towards the booth. Arya has enough annoyances. Get lost. Theria's eyes widened at the instance. The circumstance of her life was threatened. The Krogan made to shove her back with what would have been a punch to the gut, but the fist never made contact. John's hand blocked the strike with impossible speed and strength, stopping the Krogan's fist dead.
It's really not that impossible. Like, we've seen normal humans stop Krogan.
Yes.
Well, for a relative value of normal. Like, for him, if everything we know about the Krogan, fighting a Krogan would be like fighting a retarded brute.
More or less, yeah. Well, no, not a retarded brute. Like a smarter brute.
I mean in terms of like how easy it would be.
Well, no, brutes would actually be easier to take down because they probably, while they might be a little bit physically stronger than a Krogan, they're still, like, normal in terms of organs, and they'll still die if you shoot them and punch them in the ribs and shit. Meanwhile, Krogan are like, ha! You killed one of my livers! I have 4 more!
No, I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying, like, because, like, in terms of strength and speed, I'm speaking specifically about stopping a punch.
Yeah.
Stopping physical blows would actually be easier, and we've seen the Spartans.
I'm pretty sure an ODST could stop a Krogan, gonna be honest here.
Well, we've seen Marines do it. Not well and not long, but they did it.
Yeah. Anyway, so, blah, 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 blah. Thessia was ecstatic she was saved. The rest of her was afraid about Arya and being executed. Krogan's eyes were wide in surprise and rage. Guttural roar. He tried to punch Jon. Jon was taller than the Krogan. Jon's twofold defense and offense was sickeningly swift and effective. He tightened his grip on the alien's left fist. As he tightened the grip, he viciously twisted his own wrist with the result of an audible snap, breaking the Krogan's arm. Thea felt sickened at the sight and hearing Jon's fist hitting the Krogan's head with a meaty thwack. And the bone structure beneath giving way if it was made of cardboard. The bouncer dropped to the floor dead.
I did just talk about how easy it would be to stop a punch, but I didn't say it'd be easy to kill him.
Well, I mean, he
Krogan
punched his
heads,
brain
like,
case
one
in.
of the hardest things in fucking existence.
Okay, yeah, but, like, Spartans also can bench in the tons. So.
Okay, but, like, let's assume this is one of Arya's men.
Yeah.
He's going to be both in a hard suit.
Yeah, that's true.
And shielded.
Oh, that's also fair. But melee attacks seem to not block. Seem to not trigger shields. So.
No, I'm pretty. It's been a while since I played, but I'm pretty sure if they had shields up, you still had to melee your way through them. Like, it was significantly easier, but they still ate it.
It doesn't matter, whatever. This is how the author wrote it. Let's just move on.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah, Arya's clapping.
So, and you know what? At least that's pretty much how she'd react.
Yep, I don't think you're a mech, no ma'am. Ma'am, oh. Arya stepped closer, her words coming out in a coo. A shiver had gone down Thea's spine. Soldier boy, is that it? Yes, ma'am. I don't think he knows who I am. No one fucks with Arya. Arya, he really doesn't know who you are. You won't believe where he's from. Arya smirked at being cut off by the younger Asari and rounded Jon's frame very slightly, taking the girl who was behind him. Blah blah, she flared her biotic, she's being all mean and tough, little usurper, where is this thing from? He's not from our world, of course not. No, he's not from the universe. Arya smirked.
Oh, okay, hold on, look, I know Arya's full of herself, but even with as full of herself as she is, she's not, like, she's like, okay, maybe she knows it's possible people don't actually know who she is. For crying out loud, she didn't throw this much of a hissy fit when goddamn Shepard didn't know who she was.
Yeah, but, you know, gotta have bitch Arya because that's all the author knows how to do. Can't deviate from preset selection of dialogue choices, don't you know? Calling Arya an alien was clearly not meant to antagonize, but it clearly had. All of her thugs were pointing their rifles at Jon. Arya smirked, extended a hand, blue energy swirled around Jon. Thea had heard Talent Arya could crush heavy mechs. Contrary to expectation, John advanced. I mean, yeah, because isn't his armor like 2 tons?
I know Mjolnir is in excess of a ton. Let me go check.
Yeah.
This is
Arya
after
was
Halo 4, so what variant would it be? Mark 7?
5, 6, 7, something around that. I think 6.
Yeah, hold on. No, because 6 is Halo 3.
Was 6 Halo 3 really?
Yeah, because it has the cod piece.
Oh shit. Yeah, so 7 then. If she wasn't granted any luxury in her surprise, in the moment what should have been Arya killing the unknown, the armored glove closed around her neck.
Oh,
and
no. Or wait, yeah, no, it would have been... 7? Or would he have had Gen 2 at this point?
Oh. No, wasn't Gen 2 Halo 5? I'm sorry, yeah, Halo 5.
No, Gen 2's Halo 4, because it was Gen 2 was made for Spartan 4s.
Oh yeah, and they gave Chief the upgrade after they found him.
Yeah.
So how much does Gen 2 weigh?
I'm looking. Gen 2.
Because Arya is a powerful biotic, and she can lift quite a bit. I remember the whole scene where she does something ridiculous with biotics.
Alright, as a result, blah, 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 blah.
Fuck you, Birdie.
The Gen 2 suit is lighter and stronger than the first gen, weighing approximately a few hundred kilograms.
Oh, wow, so that's way less.
Yeah. Oh, that, of course, because remember, things like the jetpack got super bad. Got way better.
Right.
Is there a reason this is still going?
Because we're trying to
Out
figure
of
this.
curiosity.
Oh, only half a ton.
Anger.
Only half a ton.
So you guys just doing this out of spite now?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, because the problem is the story seemed to be relatively cohesive, and collected, but like here and there, the author claims he read the books, but then gets some books facts wrong. And then the author claims that Arya was shocked that she couldn't manipulate Jon's suit because it was too heavy. But then now here we're reading here that his suit's actually way lighter than any iteration previously.
Yeah, because this is after the events of Halo 4, and after the skirmish on Installation 03, it was replaced by a Gen 2 Mjolnir armor variant.
Yeah.
All of which translates to fuck ton lighter.
So the author's actually getting a lot wrong. Like, I'm not against having these sort of awesome scenes, but the problem is that the author is setting up the awesome scenes on false premise. Which, I mean, admittedly though, people who were just here to read a Halo Mass Effect story where the Chief ends up choking out Arya, that'll satisfy them. But you know, I dislike stories that.
Well,
just
I'm annoyed by it
details
specifically
wrong.
because this person was like, I like the books.
I'm a fan of the books. Yeah, exactly.
And then gets it all wrong.
She's choking. Vision's darkening. Something striking her knees. Am I gonna be mutilated before I die? She's breathing again. Armored boots of the behemoth. She'd been utterly bested in front of her personal guard detail, but she wasn't killed. It had been a move to neutralize her. In a civilized society, his actions would have made sense and would have made strides toward reestablishing a dialogue. Here, it just made the all-powerful leader look weak and vulnerable, and the witnesses now needed to die. She started to harness her power once more.
This is in the bar. She'd
Yes.
have to kill the whole bar.
Yeah. I mean, it's Arya, so.
I'm not saying she wouldn't. I'm saying, like, she'd been like, this is not a problem I can solve right now.
Yeah. And then she killed all of the witnesses, which were her personal guard. And then John gets into fighting stance. She raises her hand peacefully. Okay, you're not from around here. Why did you kill your men? There's a lot of people on Omega that want to know if I've been beaten yet or not. I couldn't resist someone talking. Thea slunk back into John's shadow once more, fearing Arya's weakness more than her strengths. What do you want? What did he want? Who is Shepard? Commander Shepard? Why are you asking about him? He's an Alliance soldier, hero of the Citadel, butcher, orphan, first human specter. Where is he? The sheer heft of authority in his voice enraged and terrified Arya. She would bet that she's older than this intruder, but she wouldn't bet a single credit on thinking she had killed more people than him. Yep, no, he's genocided quite a bit, so.
I mean, given the fact that he set off the Halo rings, literally genocided.
Yeah. She wanted to lash out at him, but he had already proven that he was immune to biotics. And his guns were bigger than her. Blah, blah, blah. He's in the Afterlife VIP section looking for Ardat Yakshi. Do you know these locations? Take me to the VIP section. Thea led him to the section. She instinctively knew she was being analyzed by a superior predator. She glared angrily back at the faceplate that was sizing her up. Blah blah, honest, next time you want to start with a fight that made you a dictator, sorry, give me a heads up. Blah blah, they're just Vorcha, blah blah. Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna get killed by Arya. Nah, blah, John feels bad about this. Blah 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 blah, whatever. I'm tired, I'm done. It just keeps going on and on and on, and then he shows up and kills the Ardat Yakshi. Who are you? I'm an ally. I'm not from this universe. Oh, okay. Do you want a lift? Yeah, sure, I'll take a lift. Thank you. What are you? I'm a Spartan. What are you? I'm a Spectre. Alright, now that we've covered that, see you guys next
Once
time.
again, here's the thing, right? He keeps giving his name, his rank, all that crap.
Well, yeah.
He already knows he's somewhere else.
Yep.
So it doesn't make any sense for him to continue to give that information. And he knows that.
It's kind of drilled into them. Name, rank, serial number. Anyway, see you fellas, lads, lasses, and gender non-conforming next time on Spaceballs. No, I'm just kidding. Fanfiction,
what? Oh, that'd be
Contempt
way more
Theater
interesting.
9002. See you Friday. Now, just a reminder for the Friday stream, we will be beginning late, around 7:30ish, as I am working 12 hours that day due to schedule modifications. I have no idea how the future is going to be going from now on, so I'll just be telling everyone what's happening in terms of what times we're meeting up, because I have, like, next Tuesday off, but not next Tuesday, and I'm working 8 hours one day and 4 hours the other day, and I have days off I didn't previously get off, and, you know. We're trying to figure out what's going on post the holiday scramble, because we lost, like, 32 hours in our work week because of it, and people had to be shifted around, and some took vacation, and yeah. See you all next time, because as the adage goes, there is always more, and it always gets worse.